Okay, friends.
Wine's cool.
Wine's cool. Wine's cool. Okay, let's see what happens when we match a $10 wine against a $100 wine. Okay, friends. Welcome to Wine School 420. I'm a little nervous. Are you excited? I'm excited. I'm actually Twitter-pated because I'm doing something new. And it's a really interesting matchup. What I'm doing today is Merlot study. I have a very good bottle of Pomerol, Chateau Leguet. Maybe it's pronounced Key, I don't know. And then I have a Paso Robles wine. I think it's 100% Merlot, that I got at Ralph's. So, there's a lot of hype and a lot of shit talk about Merlot. I've always been a Merlot fan. I mean, it depends on what you mean by Merlot, like the devil's in the details, I guess. The initial impetus for wanting to do this for you guys was basically to say, hey, whether or not it's blind, that's sort of an extra little sprinkle bonus I'm putting on top. If you get a $100 bottle of mostly Merlot and a $10 bottle of Merlot, what are you getting for that $90 premium other than having it flown across the earth? Well, for starters, the Pomerol it's a more rare item. This chateau, they only make, I looked it up, they make about 1,000 cases of this wine on average, I think, per year, or at least this year, it's 2015. I'm trying to take a little bit of that prejudice out of the equation by doing my best attempt at blinding. So I have these cups labeled. Yeah, number 1 is going to be on the left, and number 2 is going to be on the right, okay? So that's for a second. In here, the bottles, I already kind of don't know which is which at this point. So I'm going to take wine number 1, and I can see a little bit where the level is. So I'm going to try to just grab this bottle on the left here and fill this one. A reasonable amount. Okay, put that there. I'll take this one, and I'm going to label this wine as number 1. Trailblazing scientific shit going on here, guys. Okay. So that's wine number 1. We're putting that right there. And then this is wine number 2. Are you excited? I'm excited. I don't want this to be just like a foregone conclusion. My expectation is that the Paso Robles Merlot is going to be, it's going to feel alcoholic. It's going to feel over oaked. I have a feeling it's going to feel sort of impenetrable in a way. Paso Robles is a warm place. And, okay, I've labeled them. I poured them. Now all I have to do is my thing. I'm not looking. It's a warm place. Grapes get really hot. They're going for ripeness, and they have a brand that they're chasing, and that's working for them. It's rare that I find a Bordeaux wine that is undrinkable. Wow, they don't look very different. I may have signed myself up for something harder than expected here. I don't know. Oh my God. All right, well, one of them is a little bit more easy to see through. I would assume that would be the Pomerol here. But before I smell them, I'm just going to keep looking at them for a little longer. So right off the bat, I'm guessing that this is Bordeaux, and I'm guessing that this is Paso. But usually with a wine that's 5 years, that is properly in a drinking window for Bordeaux. It should start changing some kind of colors, and this one just looks so much prettier. I'm going to smell this one first because I think this is my baby. It's very floral. I keep on thinking like dried rose petals, which I don't often like. That's not the first 3 or 4 things I go to when I think Bordeaux. At least that shouldn't be like the dominant thing, but I'm not mad. Okay, this smells very delicate, very elegant, a little licorice note, like a little black licorice smell. It's kicking up a little bit of mintiness. These have been open for probably an hour and a half. So this smells pretty good. Yeah, it kind of smells like licorice. Oh man. This is a lot more sort of one-dimensional, although like there's a lot of similarity still in like the way that it's coming across, to be totally honest. Doesn't smell super oaky, but the licorice and rose is airing a little bit more into almost like a rubber tire, like a car tire kind of smell. And obviously in both of these places there's like a cherry. I would say that the cherry is darker, slightly more candied on this side. In case you guys care, these are the numbers on the bottoms of the cups. Can you see that? I don't know which is which. And it only matters if you know what the bottles are, which you don't. Okay. I don't dislike the way this smells. It's very delicate. There's not a lot of smell here. And I'm not getting like a very distinct earthiness. The earthiness that's there is a green earthiness. Not a muscular potting soil or beefy character. I can smell the alcohol here. Yeah, this is way a little more spicy, I guess. Like orange peel, orange zest, potpourri, like a candied orange. This is dark and extracted like I would expect a Pomerol to be, even only 5 years old. It's a very delicate smell. There is a little bit of earth coming out here, like a brown earth. I might be perceiving oak here. There's oak on both of these wines. I mean, Chateau Liguet, Pomerol, they do use a certain proportion, or sometimes all new oak for like a year or 18 months on these things. But this isn't a super high end, and okay, after swirling and swishing, this is taking on a little bit more of a one-dimensional vibe now. There's almost like a metallic, melted cocktail kind of smell. Like someone's vodka tonic with an orange twist that was sort of like sitting out to the end of the night, and you pick it up and like, what's this? So it kind of smells alcoholic now. Legs. There's less color to these legs, less extraction. These are a little bit more colored and more distinct stripes. I usually don't look at this shit very carefully, but I'm struggling here. I don't know which is which, to be totally honest. Obviously, I gotta taste them. So I'm appreciating the smell of this one more now. There feels like there's a more resonating, darker character to it. Okay. Let me taste them. I smell alcohol here, like on the back end, but this one like actually smells like a diluted cocktail. Okay, I'm gonna spit a little bit. Taste these. Chalky tannins, nice little tingle, good, so that means there's good acid. Like it made me want to take another sip, so I will. Smells so bright, has such a bright presence that if this is a wine from Pomerol, the only way I would believe it is on the palate, because it really does have a nice broad kind of fleshy flavor. Okay, that's drinkable. I'm certainly not gonna want to spit that out. So just mulling on the taste I had of this, I don't think it tastes as good. While there are tannins, they're weaker, and it sort of hits the back of the throat, but I don't feel it lingering in a fun way on my palate or my tongue. What's hitting the back of the throat, I'm assuming, is alcohol. It's a little burn. Not that either of these are low alcohol wines, but one would hope that the $100 bottle of Pomerol holds its alcohol and its presence in a more, it should just be pleasant to put in your mouth for whatever, few dollars a sip, or at least a gulp. It should be delightful. So, if this wine here, the one that's darker, that originally looked like a younger wine, which I guess just from the look was California wine, if this ends up being Pomerol, as of now, I'm not stoked. That's not to say that this isn't worth $10. This is probably worth $20, $25 to many people. And what I'll say about it, on the positive side, someone gifted me a bottle of, I think, California, some kind of red blend Cabernet. They got it in a gift bag or whatever. And I didn't know how expensive it was. I looked it up. It was like a $40 or $50 bottle of retail wine. I couldn't even finish the bottle over several days myself because it was too strong, just too powerful, too sweet. This is not that. This doesn't feel sweet. But I don't know if I would drink a whole bottle of it. This really smells like potpourri. And there's almost like a candied nature to the smell. This is tricky because a lot of times when you hear someone talking about wanting an affordable California Merlot or Cabernet, but I guess Merlot even more so, you hear the word smooth a lot. People want it to be smooth. It doesn't, and I usually interpret that to mean not tannic. But it's sort of like an ease of drinking, I guess, is what people are after. And this is pretty easy drinking, even though there's chalky tannins. I don't associate ease of drinking with Bordeaux in general, at least not in a smooth sense. But if I was going to, I would think of it for a right bank. I would think of it for Pomerol and Saint-Emilion. especially after 5, 10, 15 years in the bottle. Yeah, this one is carrying its alcohol better. They're within a percentage of each other in alcohol content, but this one doesn't feel hot. Like, this smells more like Merlot, but it's kind of one-dimensional. Whereas this may not be what I think of as Merlot, but there's like a surprising kind of note to it. This weird potpourri, citrus. Are you in a hurry? I'm not in a hurry. Real tannins, but they don't linger very long. Whereas here, drink some water. Do me a favor, if you're watching this, oh my God, thank you for humoring me and for being interested. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, or consider it, or go watch some more videos on my YouTube. There's probably barely 10. But I'm trying to get this action going and do this more often. I almost considered doing this on like a Instagram live situation. Maybe next time. This is like inkier, like a more sort of pungent, just a darker quality. So the finish on this is earthier. I taste a little bit of like potting soil on the end, and my kind of underlip gum area is a little dried out. I'm out of practice. You know, I haven't been on the floor working with wine on a nightly basis for whatever, 60, 65, 70 days or something like that. Used to do this all the time. But I've never tried either of these wines before. So have mercy on me. In the comments, don't tear me a new one. This just sort of smells more like Merlot. Like, I'm just like, this, you put this in front of me, I won't, if you tell me it's Merlot, I'm not gonna fight you. Let's see if, I wish you could see the way this looks in the glass. The one on this side, I'm not convinced that this is Pomerol, but the color is much more, it's sort of a cool diffuse color. It's all sort of a very even one color, and veering towards like a brick, veering towards brick red or a tint of orange, but really a cool color. This is a little muddier looking. There's a little more dark purple in the center of this, and on the rims, on the edge, you know, this outer 50% of it is the same color as this wine. It's nice. This starting to feel thin in comparison to that. I can't get over that potpourri, tonic water, and gin and tonic kind of vibe. Okay. Yeah, it feels light, medium bodied, honestly. Tannins are present. Acid is there. I can't get past the smell. The palate is fine. Refreshingly not sweet. But also like not super distinguished. The tannin structure that I noticed in the beginning, maybe I'm just getting slightly drunk. That tannin structure has sort of is not hitting me in the same way. So it kind of feels like a fun little thing. I don't think I would be happy paying $100 for this. Whereas this is developing. While I get a little bit of that orange zest here, it's not the dominant thing. There's like a sort of classical kirsch and cherry and, like I said, a darkness and structure here in the aroma that I would associate with Bordeaux wine. Although even then, it's pretty fresh for that. Nothing animalistic or super soily. In that palate, those tannins feel better at the end. I want this to be my Chateau Le Pied, or Chateau Le Gay. I want this to be my Pomerol. And I desperately want this to be my California $10 bottle of wine from Ralph's, only because of the way it smells. The palate wasn't offensive, even though it got less compelling over the last 10 minutes. Sorry, I'm talking your ears off, but this got less fun to drink. And the fact that it was all the same color, homogenized across from, the center to the outside, I would either think, for a French wine, I would want that to be like something lighter, Pinot or whatever. The fact that this had variation from the center of the color to the outside, and this is ending with a little bit more complexity on the palate, even though it started off feeling more simple and more one-dimensional. Man, thanks for coming on this journey with me. Let's find out what was what. So, I don't even know. So this is wine. So I'm saying that wine number 2. I'm saying that wine number 2, which was on my right, is the Magistrate Merlot. I'm saying that wine number 1, which is on my left, Pomerol. Let's see, number 2. Oh my God. No, wait. Oh, I'm right. Okay. Number 2, Magistrate. Right? Bam. Did you see that heart attack I just had? Fuck. Ooh. Almost messed this one up. Number 1 is Chateau Le Gay, Pomerol. Yeah. So in the end, palate wins. I've skated by sometimes with just being able to decipher a wine by the smell of it, because I'm so focused in on that. And look at this nose. I mean, how can I not be? I'm gonna keep drinking this. Just fuck that. How can I not be focusing on the smell of things? And so I have been known to maybe rest on my laurels a little bit just on the smell of things. And that can be deceptive. You know, on first and second sniff, I thought this magistrate was more compelling. And what was I getting? Like black licorice? And let's see if that's still there. Black licorice and potpourri and rose petals. Like, come on, that sounds cool. But the proof is in the drinking. This has depth and it feels complete. And I mean, I just was not enjoying putting my nose in here. In whatever the case may be, whether you like a floral wine or not, it should feel like a complete package, especially on this level. You know, break it down. This is equivalent. This is like a third or a fourth tier in high-end Bordeaux. So obviously it's not the best of the best or the best or the almost best. It's the almost best. But it's still fucking, you know, serious stuff. And there should not be much off-putting about it. Obviously these guys aren't known for being natural producers. So there's some manipulation here. That's why this sort of comes across as basic. But sometimes basic is really satisfying. Finish. It lingers. It tastes dark. It's almost too smooth, to be honest. Like, so here, I guess the takeaway, the lesson is, they're both relatively smooth. This smoothness is coming with a long game. You know, this is going to play out over the next 3 days in the bottle, because look at me, I'm here alone. I'm probably barely going to drink this. I'm gonna let this open up for 3 days, and you're getting an experience over time. And you're getting a very predictable experience, to be honest. Just a really delicate kind of cedar quality is kind of floating around this right now. But all in all, I'm not going to seek this out again. I have another bottle in reserve. I'll probably try to hold on to it for 5 years and see what happens. But I definitely drink the hell out of this and try to get my money's worth. This little guy. Yeah, whatever they're doing in that big, mysterious central basin of California with their cheap wines, it's making it smell like a melted vodka tonic. It's kind of a giveaway, guys. You should work on that. And it comes across as very light. Merlot isn't really a light wine. You know, generalizations are foolish to make, obviously, and I just made one. But the people that I think are coming to this wine aren't looking for a light quaffer. Maybe they are. Good value. I'm not going to shit on it. It's a good deal for $10, but I'm not seeking it out, and neither should you. Not a good deal for $100, but I will never turn down a glass of this. So for a takeaway, basically darkness, depth, you know, a little bling. Obviously, it never hurts to have a label that says Pomerol on it. If you're trying to impress somebody, you have a reliable, sort of knowable entity here. You know what you're getting into. Whereas here, I'm having a hard time giving you a takeaway, I guess is the lesson here. shit, maybe don't drink Merlot. Damn it. Because this is good and drinkable, but it's too expensive. And this is kind of bullshit, and it's affordable. It's $10, you know, maybe get that White Claw pack. This is a shame, because I like the idea of Merlot, and here's the takeaway. If you can find a girl like this, who's dark and beautiful, with texture and presence, that doesn't put up any red flags. You know, there's nothing off-putting about the smell, but it's also not blowing my mind. If you can find you a girl like this for $30 to $40, that's a good deal. That's a value proposition. For $100, let some idiot like me who has one in the fridge get you drunk on it. $10 wine. I don't know what to tell you. It's a hard thing to find. I think your price point for budget wine is more like, these days in a big city, $13, $15. You can do a lot better at a small wine shop, or get a natural wine for $15. You'll be in a better place than getting this $10 Merlot. You know, unless you're just trying to get drunk. But I drink wine as an aesthetic adventure, and I'm looking for surprises. I mean, the biggest surprise here is that I almost thought this was this. That's honestly the biggest surprise. So, such was the gate. I'm giving you a thumbs up because you're extremely enjoyable to drink, especially on the palate. The aroma, I'm going to check in with it tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be mind-blowing, but it's kind of basic Pomerol, and it's crazy how expensive it is. Magistrate. I'm giving you a thumbs down. Purely on the weakness of the way you smell. I can't stand that smell. And it tastes very thin. Now, although I was getting tannins in the very beginning, they're there, but it feels like fake wine. And call me a snob, but it's not working for me. Luckily for you, I'm not going to do this tonight, but I do have a winning Merlot in the fridge. I know it's going to be amazing. It's at a price point that's between these two, and it's naturally made, and it's relatively local. And I'll do that next, after I recover from this hangover. Thank you, folks. Thank you for watching. Check out my YouTube. Check out my Instagram. Stay safe. Don't text and drive. And call somebody you love and tell them you love them. Bye. Wine School.